Well, it cut off. But, so the west side is considered in the other writings wind. So when the north wind is the west, the east wind is the north. They talk about the east wind. And the west wind is over at the southern gate. Southern gate, western gate. Eastern gate. Over here. Southern gate. Northward gate. Westward gate. Wall. Eastward wall. Southward wall. Northward wall. With the east wind. Northern wall. With the north wind. The western wall. The west wind. The southern wall. The southern wind at the eastern wall. The eastern wall is a lion. The western wall is an ox. The northward wall is an eagle. And the southward wall is a man. I gotta put that up. Oh, I'll mark this up. Maybe get around to it. Written to the Knight of the most notable order of the Garter, and one of the Lords of Her Majesty's most honorable Privy Council. Brutes compare but imperfectly. Compounding. Brutes compound but little. Brutes abstract, not. Hey, I gotta mark it up. Making noise. But I already looked in it. I did. I said I'm gonna see if it's got the Maccabees in it, and it doesn't. Show it, I don't think. Got golden rules and stuff. And different titles. But I see the word Lenten, so I'm sure. A book of books. Thousands of years ago it was said, of making many books there is no end. Oh, I wonder if it's got pictures. The books of the New Testament. The books of the Old Testament. the Song of Solomon. It's also called Canticles. So, $132 and back. Certain amount of serpents, small writing in the back. So it's got some maps, shiny papers. Always got pictures. It's like a storybook. But we talking crazy. Yeah, we're just opening it up to Isaiah. Go 40. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent dwell in. So we know right off the bat, it's not some varieties. I'm going to go over to Jeremiah or so. Oh man, that's... And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon, and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity, in the land of Chaldeans, and I will make it perpetual desolations. All these 70s. Take you wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that they may increase there and not diminish. Psalm 90. 10. The days of our years are 80 years and 10. 70. And if by reason of strength they are 80 years, 80, yet is their strength labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away. Daniel 9:2. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood the books and number of the years, wherefore the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet. He would accomplish 70 years. If it got to 80, it'd be hard stuff. And the desolations. Song of Solomon. 3, 4. Awake, O north wind, and come thou south. Blow upon my garden, that thy spices thereof may flow out. Let my beloved come into his garden, and eat his pleasant fruits. Genesis 49. 22. Joseph is a fruitful bough, and his fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers are sorely grieved for him, shot at him. Joseph is a fruitful bough. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors, and to the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. Thou shalt be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that will separate from his brethren. And since we're in Genesis, we got Genesis 35:16. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephratah. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. Joshua, Judges 9:1. And Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem unto his mother's brethren, and communed with them, and with all the family of the house of his mother's fathers, saying, Speak, I pray ye, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it is better for you, either that all the sons of Jerubbaal, which are 70 persons, reign over you. And Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, neither showed they kindness to the house of Jerubbaal, namely Gideon, according to all the goodness which he had showed unto Israel. The house of Jerubbaal, Gideon. Judges 7. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali, and out of Asher, and out of all Manasseh, and pursued. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all Mount Ephraim, saying, Come down against the Midianites, and take before them the waters unto Bethbar and Jordan. Then all the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together, and took the waters unto Bethbar and Jordan. Judges 9:20. But if not, let fire come out from Abimelech and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Millo. Devour the men of Shechem and the house. Milo is shallow, look it up. And let fire come out from the men of Shechem and from the house of Shiloh and devour Abimelech. Shechem and Shiloh is Milo. When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, 2 Samuel 6. And as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through the window and saw David, the city of David, leaping and dancing before the Lord and his spies. The city of David. Chronicles 11. And David dwelt in a castle. Therefore they called it the city of David. 7 on down. And David long said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem that is at the gate." First Chronicles 21. 21. And as David came to Ornan, Ornan looked and saw David, and went out of the threshing floor, and bowed himself to David, with the face on the ground. Over to 2 Chronicles 3:1. Then Solomon began to build the house of the Lord, Jerusalem, Mount Moriah, where the Lord appeared unto David his father, in the place that David had prepared in the threshing floor. Ornan the Jebusite began to build. Forgot that Samuel. 2 Samuel 24. 2 Samuel 24. 21. And Araunah said, "Wherefore is my lord the king come to his servant?" And David said, "To buy the threshing floor of thee, to build an altar unto the Lord, that the plague might be stayed." Back to Chronicles. Oh. Nine. Thus David, the son of Jesse, reigned over all Israel. Thus David's, the son of Jesse, reigned over all Israel. 2 Chronicles 6:5. Since the day that I brought forth my people out of the land of Egypt, I chose no city among all the tribes of Israel to build a house in, that my name might be there. Neither chose I any man to be a ruler over my people Israel. But I have chosen this, Jerusalem, that my name might be there, and have chosen David to be over my people. We got Judges, but there's Joshua. Joshua 19. Joshua 19 at the end. according to the word of the Lord, they gave him the city which he asked, even Timnath-Serah and Mount Ephraim. And he built the city and dwelled therein. These are the inheritance which Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel divided for the inheritance by lot in Shiloh before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle and of the congregation. So they made an end of dividing the country. Joshua 27. And they appointed Kadesh in Galilee, the Mount Naphtali, and Shechem, and Mount Ephraim, and Kirjath Arba, which is Hebron, in the mountain of Judah. They came the heads of the fathers of the Levites, Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, the heads of the fathers. Then they spake unto them at Shiloh, I remember, Milo, in the land of Canaan, saying, The Lord commanded by the hand of Moses to give us cities to dwell in, with the suburbs thereof for our cattle. Shiloh and over, for they gave them Shechem with her suburbs in Mount Ephraim to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Gezer with her suburbs. Shechem. Over 24 to 32, and the bodies of Joseph with the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt, buried they in Shechem, in a parcel of ground which Jacob brought for the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver, and it became the inheritance of the children of Israel, of Joseph, in Shechem. And Eleazar the son of Aaron died, and they buried him on a hill, and it pertained Phinehas, his son, which was given him in Mount Ephraim. 1 Samuel 3:20. And all Israel from Dan even to Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Lord, from Dan to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared again in Shiloh, for the Lord revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh, Milo, Ephraim, by the word of the Lord. 1 Samuel 1. Now there was a certain man, Raphaim Zophim, of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroam, the son of Eliab, the son of Toah, the son of Zuph, of Ephratite. And he had 2 wives, and the name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had her children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of the city yearly to worship and to sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. Second Chronicles 10:1. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for to Shechem were all Israel come to make him king. 10:16 and 12:16. And when all Israel saw that the king would not hearken unto them, the people answered their king, saying, What portion have we in David? And we have none inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to your tents, O Israel. And now, David, see to thine own house. So all Israel went to their tents. The stone that the builder rejected, what portion have we in David? The people answered the king, Don't have inheritance with the son of Jesse. And 12:16. And Rehoboam slept with his fathers, and was buried in the city of David, with Abijah the son reigned in his stead. City of David. 13. Now in the 18th year, King Jeroboam began Abijah to reign over Judah. He reigned 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Micah, the daughter of Uriel of Gittith. And there was a war between Abijah and Jeroboam. And Abijah sat in a battle array in an army, valiant war, even 400,000 chosen men. Jeroboam was set in battle array against him with 8,000 chosen. And Abijah stood up on Mount Zerazim, which is in Mount Ephraim, and said, Hear me, thou Jeroboam and all Israel. Ought ye to know that the Lord gave the kingdom over Israel to David forever, even to him, to his sons, by a covenant of salt. Yet Jeroboam, son of Nebat, servant of Solomon, the son of David, is risen up, hath evil eye against the Lord. And Abijah pursued after Jeroboam, and took cities from him, Bethel with the towns thereof, Jesha with the towns thereof, and Ephraim with the towns thereof. So Abijah slept with his fathers, and buried him in the city of David, and Asa, his wife, reigned in his stead. His son. Is his days the land was quiet 10 years. The city of David. Shiloh. 15. And Asa heard these words and prophecy. Obed the prophet, he took courage and put away the abominable things out of the land of Judah and Benjamin. Now the cities which he had taken from Mount Ephraim, and renewed the altar of the Lord. He took from Mount Ephraim. And he gathered all Judah and Benjamin, the strangers, them, Ephraim, Manasseh, out of Ephraim. Back to Joshua. It had more over there, 16. So, I remember. And the lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho into the water of Jericho on the east, to the wilderness that groweth up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel. And Joshua full of them, 18:1, and the whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh, and set up the tabernacle of the congregation there, and the land was subdued before them. There remained children of Israel, the 7 tribes. And the men arose and went away, and Joshua charged them that went to describe the land, saying, Go and walk the land, and describe it, and come to me and say, that I may cast lots for you before the Lord in Shiloh. And here comes the scroll, the reed written, and the man went and passed through the land, and described it by cities into 7 parts in a book, and came again to Joshua, to the host at Shiloh. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And their Lord divided the land. Back over 2 Chronicles 25:10. Then Amaziah separated them, to wit, the army that was come to him out of Ephraim, to go home again. Wherefore their anger was greatly kindled against Judah, and they returned home in great anger. And 23, and Judah. And Joash, the king of Israel, took Ammon the king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz at Bethshemesh, and brought him to Jerusalem, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. And he took all the gold and the silver and all the vessels that were found in the house of God with Obed, and the treasures of the king's house, the hostages also, and returned to Samaria. 30. And Hezekiah sent out to all Israel and Judah, and wrote letters also to Ephraim and Manasseh, that they should come to the house of the Lord in Jerusalem to keep Passover unto the Lord God of Israel. And on over, 33. 7. And he set a carved image, the idol which he had made, in the house of God, of which God had said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen, before all the tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever. Psalm 89. Psalm 89. I have found David my servant with my holy oil have I anointed him, with whom my hand shall be established. Mine arm also shall strengthen him. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him. And I will beat down his foes before his face, and plague them that hate him. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my name shall his horn be exalted. I will set his hand also in the sea, and in his right hand in the rivers, and shall cry unto me, Thou art my Father, my God, and the rock of my salvation. Also I will make him my firstborn, higher than the kings of the earth. Jeremiah 26:6. Then I will make this house like Shiloh, and will make this city a curse to all the nations of the earth. Jeremiah 41:5. That there came certain from Shechem, from Shiloh, and from Samaria, even 80 men, having their beards shaven, their clothes rent, and having cut themselves, and offering the incense in their hand, bring him to the house of the Lord. Shiloh, Milo, Shechem, house of David. Back to 31:9. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in the straight way, whereas they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. It's always a good one. Jeremiah 8. The wise men are ashamed, they are dismayed and taken low. They have rejected the word of the Lord, and what wisdom is in them. How do ye say, we are wise, and the law of the Lord is with us. Lo, certainly in vain made he it. The pen of the scribes is in vain. Yea, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming, and my people know not the judgment of the Lord. Psalm 89, 3. I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David my servant. That seed will I establish forever and build up a throne to all generations. Genesis 25, 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Oh yeah, 1 Samuel, Alexander, the 10,000s, 1 Samuel 18. 1 Samuel 18. And the woman answered one another and said, and they played, said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And over 1 Samuel 29. Is not this David, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Saul slew his thousands, and David his 10,000. Deuteronomy 33:17. His glory is like the first son of the bullock, and his horns are like the horns of the unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And David slew his 10,000s. Isaiah 9. So the Lord sent word to Jacob, had lighted upon Israel. All the people shall know, even Ephraim and the heaven of Samaria, they say in the pride and stoutness of heart. The ancient and honorable. He is the head, and the prophet that teaches lies, he is the tail. Manasseh, Ephraim, and Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. That reminds me, it's new, Hebrew. What's going on back there? Say what? Hebrew. Back in new, Hebrews 9:2, Hebrews 2. But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels, for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of God, should taste death for every man. For it became him, of whom all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons into glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren, saying, I will declare thy name unto the brethren in the midst of the church, and sing praise unto thee. And behold, I will put trust in him, and again, behold, I and the children which God has given me. For as much then are the children of partakers flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part in the same, that through death he might destroy them that had power over death, that is, the devil, and delivereth them, and through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For verily he took not on them the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things it behooved him, made us unto his brethren, that he might be merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. For in he himself had suffered being tempted, he is able to secure them that are tempted. Timothy 1:4. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying which is in faith. Because the scribes do in vain. Titus 3:9. But avoid foolish questions and genealogies, has been and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. And 1:14, not giving heed to the Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Acts 5. But the angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, Go, stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. And I always like to check Isaiah, because some of these versions, depending on, Isaiah 61, it says giving sight to the blind. But the Masoretic sometimes don't have it all the time. And this one, depending on Isaiah 61, the Spirit of the Lord upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good things to the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance our God, to comfort all and mourn. So this, you might say, it's not a King James version, but it doesn't say giving sight to the blind. And mine does, other ones. In the Greek. And the Alexandrian Greek at the time was Greek. Think Greek. Think good Greek before Koine Greek even. It later got corrupt, but there's one out there. And the Alexandrian Septuagint has a verse. I need to find that in Chronicles. First Chronicles 6, back to Samuel, sons of Levi. It's the craziest thing. The sons of Levi, Gershom and Cabala, down. Eliab his son, Jeroam his son, Elkanah his son, and the sons of Samuel, the firstborn. Elkanah, And they ministered before the dwelling. And these are they whom David set over the service of song in the house of David, and after the ark had rest. And they ministered before the dwelling place of the tabernacle and the congregation, the singing, until Solomon had built the house of the Lord in Jerusalem. They wait in the office in their order. The son of Levi, the son of Israel. And Joy his son, and Iddo his son, and Zerah his son. And there's a V. The sons of Korah, Remedad his son. Numbers 24. 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. Numbers 24. And a scepter shall rise out of Israel. Acts. Oh, it does have writing in it, though. Red writing. Red Robin, Red Robin. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Acts. Acts 7. Our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, speaking unto Moses, that he should make it according to the fashion that he had seen. I gotta find it though. 2 Chronicles 11. He returns. Rehoboam. He built even Bethlehem. Back to 1 Samuel 18. And David said unto Saul, Who am I? And what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? And all the way to Matthew 26 with the red writing. 26 with the red writing. All the way at the end. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou art also one of them, for thy speech betrayeth thee. Did Joel 3, the old good one. 6, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Jeremiah told us over there. 8. Lo, certainly, vain made he it. The pen of the scribes is in vain. Amos 9. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up the ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. All the way to Acts 15. Acts 15:16. After this I will return, and will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build again the ruins thereof, and will set it up. Acts over to 6. Whom they set before the apostles, and when they had prayed, they laid their hands on them. But you shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and you shall be witnesses into both Jerusalem and all Judea, and in Samaria, and into the uttermost parts of the earth. Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come like this manner, as ye have seen him go into heaven. Acts 10:37. That word, I say, ye know, which was published throughout all Judea, and began from Galilee, after the baptism which John preached, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Ghost and with power, who went out about doing good and healing all that were oppressed. And in Nehemiah 8, so the people went forth and brought them and made themselves booths, every one of them a roof of the house, in the courts, and in the courts the house of God, in the streets of the water gate, and in the street of the gate of Ephraim. And all the congregation of them that were come out in captivity made booths, and sat under the booths, since the days of Joshua, the son of Nun, unto that day had not the children of Israel done so. And there was very great gladness. And there's another reading. Some things are out. But this is, and the sons of Ephraim. And it's included, and his daughter was Shira, who built Betharon, the nether, the upper, and Uzan Shira. The sons of Gilead, and Shechem, and the sons of Ephraim. And in Jeremiah, thus saith the Lord, write ye this man, childless, a man that shall not prosper in his days, for no man of his seed shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David, and ruling any more in Judah. Jeremiah, and Ephraim's daughters too. O Ephraim, O earth, 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 hear the word of the Lord. In 17, Jeremiah, the sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron, and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart, and upon the horns of your altars, which their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all the treasures to the spoil and high places for sin. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron. Genesis 12, 5 through 8. And Abraham took Sarah, his wife, and his brother's son, and all their substance they had gathered, and the souls they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go to the land of Canaan. And to the land of Canaan they came, and Abram passed through the land, the place Shechem, to the plain Moab, and the Canaanite was there in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, to thy seed I will give this land, and building up an altar of the Lord. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and he pitched his tent, having Bethel on his west and Hai on the east, and he built an altar of the Lord, called upon the name of the Lord. Joshua 8. Joshua 8, 9 through 13. Joshua therefore sent them forth. They went to lie in ambush and abode between Bethel and Ai on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people. And Joshua rose up early in the morning and numbered the people, and went up, and the elders of Israel before they of Ai, with all the people, even the people of war, were with him, went up and drew nigh, and came before the city, and pitched a tent on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between them and Ai. And he took about 5,000 men and set them in line ambush between Bethel and Ai, and on the west side of the city. And when they had set the people, even all the host that was on the north of the city, their liers in wait of the west of the city, Joshua went that night to the midst of the valley. Deuteronomy 11, 29 and 30. And it shall come to pass, when the Lord thy God hath brought thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, that thou shalt put up the blessing upon Mount Gerizim, and the curse upon Mount Ebal. Are they not on the other side of the Jordan by the way, where the sun goeth down, in the land of the Canaanites, which dwell in the campaigns over against Gilgal, beside the plains of Moriah? Oh, my back. Judges 18. And the children of Dan, too, sent their family of the men from the coast, men of valor, and Zor, and from Esnol, to spy out the land and to search it. And they said unto them, Go, search the land. Who, when they came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, they lodged there. And they said, Arise. And they passed thence into Mount Ephraim, and came into the house of Micah. Jonah, Micah 2:5. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of the Lord. Oh, it's 5, I remember. 5:2. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler of Israel, whose goings forth have been from old and everlasting. She which travaileth had brought forth. Bethlehem Ephratah. And a recursory look at Joshua 15. There is None. No Bethlehem in Judah. If you can find it, let me know. But yet, they're calling Bethlehem Judah in some of the text, you know. And the lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan to Jericho into the water. Jericho, the east and the wilderness that goeth from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel. Bethlehem Ephratah. So when you look at 1 Samuel 17 and go over to 12, you just go, now David was the son of that Ephratah, Bethlehem, whose name was Jesse. See that? Now David was the son of that Ephratah, Bethlehem. There's no Bethlehem in Judah in the record. And David was the youngest. The stone that the builder rejected, just like it said in Samuel 1:2. And he had 2 wives. The name of one was Hannah, the name of Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. There was a certain man of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Joram, the son of Eliud, the son of Toah, son of Juph, an Ephratite. Now David, who was the son of Ephratite of Bethlehem, whose name was Jesse. In 16, Samuel, 1 Samuel 16, and the Lord said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing that I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thy horn with oil, and go, and will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, take a heifer with thee, and said, I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show thee what thou do, and thou shalt anoint unto me him, whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem. And his elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, comest thou peaceably? Remember the genealogy of the Levites? In the absence of Bethlehem in Judah. First Chronicles 5. 1 Chronicles 5:2. For Judah prevailed above his brethren, and of him came the chief ruler, but the birthright was Joseph's. Ephraim and Manasseh. There was one Samuel, 1 Samuel 16. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. In Genesis 48:20, and he blessed them that day, saying, in thee shall Israel bless, saying, God make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. Jeremiah 7. 12. But go ye now into my place, which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people Israel. Shiloh. Oh, man. Well, that's enough marking. What is that? That's an hour. So we got a little bit. It's interesting, though. Borders of Judah. You look it up. That's Joshua 15. Yeah, Shiloh ain't Bethlehem, Judah. There's no Bethlehem in Judah right here. I don't know what you're going to do with that. But as an investigator, the Jebusites dwell with Judah to this day. And a lot of the children of Joseph to the east of the wilderness that goeth up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel. We just have to close that up for now. Oh, I'm back. I'm leaning over. Let's see what we're going to do. Yeah, and look over here. In Chronicles 6, you start adding up these, and there's your Elkanah here. But this one, the sons of Elkanah, is not the same as the listen over here with the sons. Elkanah, the son. So there's some scribble scribes right here. Something ain't clear. The son of Elkanah, the son of Jerome. Let's throw the markers right here. Oh, man. And, oh, I had a lot of thoughts while that was going on. One of which, oh man, I gotta take a snack. Matters. Yeah, that's neat though. It's written all in the Old and the New. Be careful with those line pens. Line lines. It's written in the Old Testament several times, and even written in the New Testament. It's like, we'll give you genealogy, we want to prove it, but the thing about it, you can't even prove it because it's already been noted. They'd be tinkering with stuff. And it's even said right there in red, white, and blue. Yep. Lying, tampering with the scribes. Yeah. You might wonder, like, what does that mean? You know, hey, it makes it even better, I think. It might make everybody else mad, but see the thing about it. It's iron. It's iron sharpened iron. It's nice. And it just makes it even more interesting when everybody's wrong. And it's right. Oh, no. No. I didn't grow those bananas. I have grew bananas, though. But typically here, the growing season, after they bloom, you got to cut them down. But you use the stalks and you grow them, or the pieces, root. But I'll probably have some next year. I'll probably have a bundle next year. Had some year before last. All right. Now let's get a cup of coffee. Or soda. That crazy green dew. All right, let's get it going. Let's see what we're going to do now. Oh, put this back out, maybe. That's the north, south, east, west, but that blows with the wind, and that blows with the west wind, and the east wind, and the north wind, and the south wind. Ends up one sloop. Sounds like itsy bitsy spider. There's your cubicle. Now let's do get me a drink. This is really, just go ahead and hit them hard to begin with and ask them. That way you know what playing field you're on. You gotta let them know. It is the practice of elevating a single marginalized voice that aligns with the dominant power. Alright, so a dominant power is going to recognize a single marginalized voice structure and invalidate grievances by a multitude of people. So that means, does the government going to listen to a bunch of people and invalidate a single voice? Yes, because the single voice is a single point. It's his freedom, their freedom, whether they're the last man standing or not. So I guess I got to be more specific. See, you see these in a different order, or it says, to the water community makes choices for the single voice. See, this is borderline democracy. And democracy, by definition, is not good by some definition. So that's the question you got to find out, where they're at. Elevate a single voice. If it aligns with the dominant power, well, what if it didn't? It's a single voice. Whether everybody else goes south or not. They can go north. Even the crazy king said that. You go here or you go there, it'd be alright. And let that lamp cool down a minute.
You wanted something adversarial, so I'll throw this out. I guess the question is got to be, is Silicon Valley actually posing an alternative to that larger structure where you have a fusion of financial and sort of security?
No, not really. But I would argue that that's again, this is my political atheism, or maybe it's just I'm secretly working on behalf of the regime here, or something like this. But that is, I think the way that you the thought is we're not going to change.
And you wanted something adversarial, so I'll throw this out. I guess the question is got to be. When brown shirts hit the street, when the Nazis show up and start taking people away, the guys who are out there defending the Jewish neighborhood will tend to be the radical left. Basically, will tend to be exactly the people that were being targeted. So it's crazy to go after them and to ignore the right. I come from a left-wing Zionist tradition. Actually, my mom was Hashemah Hatzair, who were socialist Zionists. One of the things which is terrifying is how the right wing has essentially captured the Jewish identity more and more. You hear people saying, well, you know, when people make anti-capitalist statements, they're being subtly anti-Semitic because Jewish people tend more and more likely to be capitalists. It's like Karl Marx did the opposite of that, Rosa Luxemburg, Leon Trotsky, Emma Goldman. There's a long tradition of Jewish radicalism. To some degree, what we now think of as the left is a product of Jewish thought and the Jewish tradition just as much as, say, Christianity comes out of that tradition. When brown shirts hit the street, when the Nazis show up and start taking people away, the guys who...
I guess what I really want to say is everything I am is stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Eternia, that stuff is real. Griffins, dragons, talking tigers, enchanted forests, burning deserts, islands, the sky, you name it. I swear I'm not high. And then we've got Castle Grayskull. My father once told me that Eternia is the beating heart of the cosmos. The Grayskull is the heart of that heart. So I guess the heart of the heart is the power of Grayskull. They say it can make a man as mighty as a god. To keep it safe, the power was bound within a vessel, an ancient sword they called the Sword of Power. Yeah, I know, but that's what they went with. Legend said that when Eternia was in its greatest need, a hero would step forth and wield the sword. And, use it awesomely. Until that day, it was locked away within the castle under the watchful eye of the sorceress, who was wise and ancient and a little scary, to be honest, but she's cool. She's cool. For hundreds of years, Grayskull has remained under the protection of my ancestors. See, I come from a pretty impressive lineage of mighty heroes. Noble, strong, fearless.
Mom, I want to fight. I'm bigger than me and stronger. And I have poor hand-eye coordination.
Nonsense. Who told you that?
It's true. He's the smallest and the weakest. It's a miracle he hasn't broken any bones or died.
So what should the prince be doing instead of arms training?
Well, maybe hanging out and playing with Cringer. You go. I'll find a ball of yarn and I'm good. For sure I'll help, you know. So I have to go.
Arms training. Now.
Listen up! Future finest of Eternia.
We read in Lightfoot, about 100 miles north of where the pilgrims gathered. In Lightfoot, that Sychar is the same place with Shechem, seems beyond doubt, which indeed the Mount Gerizim pointed to by the Samaritan woman sufficiently confirms. A wily argument, perhaps, in Epiphanes' esteem, who in his Samaritan heresy gives us this account. There are two mounts near Jericho beyond Jordan, Gerizim and Ebal, which looks towards Jericho on the east, so that we see he tells us Gerizim and Ebal were near Jericho, not near Shechem. The clause over against Gilgal, Deuteronomy 11:30, hath deceived these authors in that manner, that they have removed the mounts Gerizim and Ebal to Gilgal by Jericho, and it hath on the other hand deceived some in other manner, that they have brought Gilgal by Jericho to Shechem, misunderstanding the word Gilgal for that place mentioned in Joshua 5, when this which Moses speaks of is really Galilee, as I have proven elsewhere. Lightfoot.